Hey guys, I got some bad news. Juan's hands have been turned into pepperonis, and the surgery to change them back is really expensive. Luckily, you guys can help. Just go to patreon.com/shooting blanks, and for either $1 a month, you can help us out, or if you want to pitch a little extra, we'll even give you some extra material. That way, Juan doesn't have to eat his hands. Don't let Juan eat his hands. It's unsanitary.
Don't eat hands.
Hashtag eat with hands, not hands.
Hashtag eat hands with don't hands.
Hashtags give us money. Man.
Hey everybody, welcome to another Commentators podcast. I'm Tom sometimes.
I'm Juan.
I'm Kramer.
And I'm Ryan.
And today we were actually talking about Star Wars Rogue One that we all saw over the weekend, yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is anyone going to disappoint me in our
Why are you looking at me?
I don't know, Ryan.
I remember saying as I was leaving last week, I was like, all right, I'm seeing it Friday.
I don't remember that.
Oh, neither. I'm suspicious of you.
Guess what? I saw it Friday.
I thought he was disappointed. I was going to say he was going to be disappointed because somebody wasn't going to like it. And then everybody looked at you and I was like, why would Ryan not like this movie?
I'm going to go off the complete
Ryan,
assumption that
Ryan-
Ryan didn't watch the movie and he's just speculating the whole thing. And go. What did you think of the
He's
movie?
going
Kramer?
off the trailers.
Ryan, did you not like the movie?
I'm not going to say that.
We'll get to him.
Yeah, we'll get to
starting
it.
with you,
Okay.
Kramer,
Or we can
'cause I'm
start
looking
with
at you.
Ryan
No.
because
Yeah,
now
I
we're
like-
questioning him.
Nope.
Nope.
We're starting with me?
Tom
Suspense.
says-
Building
Starting with me?
suspense.
I
I
fucking
put-
love this movie.
I put Ryan in the hot seat, and then I'm making everyone wait till the end.
I like this movie. Not as much as Force Awakens.
Really?
But I still enjoyed this movie. For me, the only reason I
Whoa.
didn't like it as much as Force Awakens, when I watched it, I was like, yes, this is a fucking Star Wars movie. The whole time made me feel like it was a Star Wars movie. Rogue One,
Star Wars.
Yeah, I heard that too. I was
Star
like,
Wars.
what?
well, Star
Wars?
While Rogue One was in the Star Wars universe, sometimes it didn't always feel like a Star Wars movie. It felt like it's maybe because this one was actually like a war movie. You know, it didn't seem like an epic space fantasy. It was a war movie that takes place in space. That's not to say that makes it bad. I just maybe because I really enjoyed Force Awakens, but I still give this movie like a 9 out of 10.
There wasn't a lot of space stuff in Force Awakens, come to think of it.
No, it was a lot of...
Even the
dialogue.
dogfights were all in planet and stuff.
No, but the world building and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I
it was
see.
it felt huge. Whereas like Rogue One was just like we're going to these planets and we happen to fight on these planets. Except like that desert one that they were on. That felt like that had like that had where like you felt like there was like different cultures and stuff they were going into or stuff like that, which you get a lot of in Star Wars. But other than that, they didn't really do too much of that, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is why it felt smaller, I guess.
There were
Spoiler
less
alert.
aliens.
Yeah.
Did you just call out spoiler alert?
Oh yeah, spoilers, guys.
Spoilers. Spoilers.
There were less aliens, but the aliens used were more frequent. Like, different
What?
species and stuff like that. Like,
Oh,
we usually
okay,
see
yeah.
A lot of species in Star Wars just making cameos just to do world building.
Yep.
This one had less, but the ones that were there had more screen time.
I love
I
that little guy in the,
Yeah.
the
Oh,
rebellion.
the little rebellion dude.
Yeah,
The
that
little
guy was
rebellion furry
awesome.
guy.
He thought he was some
Yeah.
badass clone trooper. Like,
That was
in the ship.
Oh, he was great.
The little
stuff.
dude was such an awesome character.
I think as soon as he came on, I looked at Maggie with like a dumb smile on my face. I was like,
This little guy, he's my favorite.
Yeah.
I'm
He's
small
like-
like him.
He was like the Rocket Raccoon of the Star Wars universe. Just a little dude with a big gun blasting people. All crazy.
yeah, though.
Totally.
Yeah.
He was likable.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh,
You buy it for you, Kramer?
I went.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was just making sure nobody was interrupting your completion.
I'm good.
Juan?
Man, okay. I just saw it last night and holy shit, like I loved it. I actually think I liked it more than Force Awakens. That's where I'm at right now.
Oh.
And I actually walked out. I was like, "Is these are what war movies are like?" Because I don't watch war movies because they're boring to me.
Mm-hmm.
But like, holy shit, I was on the edge of my seat like during the battles, and man, it was intense. I really, really came out of that like being with slightly mid expectations to being super high on
Yeah.
expectations.
It definitely was a very war movie structured.
It was wow,
Film.
man. Yeah, it's the whole. You know what? Where you said like the whole, it felt like Star Wars, but it wasn't Star Wars. Like I totally agree with, but it was still like amazing because you're in the Star Wars universe and you finally get to see something else other than the Skywalkers.
Yeah, I can see
Felt
that.
like reading good fan fiction.
Yeah. It was that whole like, man, this is what else is going on in the universe, and sometimes it sucks, and sometimes it's real shit.
It's not the story, but there's the thing from the story.
Yeah, I liked it. Yeah, I'd totally give that like a highest 10 out of 10. Like,
Damn,
I need to watch that
10 out of
again.
10.
I cannot get over how much I loved it. The callbacks, the subtleties, like how everything looked. I did not have a single problem with it when I walked out.
Callbacks were good. The callbacks were very well, like even.
I personally appreciate that they didn't go the route of gimmicking a Wookiee in there somewhere.
Yeah, like the prequels did.
I was absolutely positive there was going to be a random Wookiee that was there for comical effect. And I was like, I hope they don't
He's
do
just
it.
part of the
Like
the
R2
rebels.
and C3 were there just randomly.
Yeah.
Just for cameo sake.
That one,
Only cameo I didn't like.
I
that
think
was
it's-
the most obvious.
It's
like,
purely
yeah.
because they're in every film.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it has
Just
to
to keep
continue
up
that
with the-
trend.
Yeah,
I like the sassy robot.
Sassbot.
K2SO.
K2 was the best.
Yeah, he reminded me a lot of
droid.
like, because this movie was totally like a Guardians of the Galaxy mirror to me. It was
but
very,
less funny though.
less funny, but
more
more
serious.
like the battle scene was very, very, very similar to the battle scene at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy, the space battle, trying to get through the shield
Oh, okay,
and
yeah.
just slamming things into it to break the shield, and like it was. Yeah, it was very reminiscent of Guardians of the Galaxy to me, and he gave me that Drax feel. Like, he's very stern and just says whatever he wants to. It's like, we have to help you because he told me that we did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
K2 is my new favorite.
It was
droid
so
Yeah.
great.
out of
so
all
great.
of them, easily.
My favorite line of his is when she's like, I forget what it is. Is like if they shoot you, like it's good if you're there because then they can shoot you and it won't hit me.
That doesn't
Yeah.
sound so
Or
bad.
something like that. And then as she walks away, he goes, "Oh no!" He like the shield gets shot instead of him,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
And he goes, "You say that it would be a bad thing."
Yeah, he's like, that's not so bad.
Yeah. And then he throws her
And then
shit
he
on
drops
the
her
floor.
stuff.
Sassbot.
He's so good.
That's
I
Alan
liked
Tudyk.
Yeah.
Young Leia. That was awesome.
Young Leia,
Young Leia.
Well, it was awesome to see the bridge to A New Hope.
perfectly bridged.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was.
Like
I'm
hours
glad.
behind it.
I'm
Pretty
glad
much.
that was the only cameo besides Vader.
Tardik.
Tarkin.
Oh, and
Tarkin.
Tarkin.
Why did I say Tardik?
But that cameo was like good, but
I think they overused him. Like if he had been kept to minimal screen time,
Yeah, I
he
agree.
wasn't very distracting when he was alone.
no.
But when he was standing next to Ben Mendelsohn, I
Mendo.
forgot. Yeah, when he was standing next to him, it was pretty noticeable, albeit very impressive.
It was
The CGI?
insanely
Yes.
impressive.
It is puzzling that they didn't go with prosthetics and like a look-alike actor
yeah,
and then enhance it with CG. It looked like it was full-on CG.
That's
it
what
looked
I
like
thought.
video game animation almost,
Yeah.
like in a lot of like modern video games. It looked like Ben Mendelsohn was standing next to a TV that was playing like a video game next to him with Tarkin's face on it.
That makes it sound real bad. Did you think it was
His
that bad?
the CGI, like it was impressive,
I didn't like.
but it wasn't to the. There wasn't like okay, so like Robert Downey's de-aging thing.
Yeah.
That wasn't distracting.
That wasn't
It wasn't-
distracting. That wasn't like, oh, I can tell that CG. Like I said, they're going, how the fuck did they get Robert Downey Jr. to look like that? When Tarkin
Disney,
came up, I
Marvel.
was like, huh?
It's a Disney Marvel. It's the same technology.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it didn't work as well.
I thought it worked really good.
It
I
did too.
was super against that.
No, it works. It's
Like,
fine.
It works,
but it's, you can
I
notice
couldn't
But
it.
tell,
it's
really.
very, for me, it was noticeable.
Like it was the thing that I thought about it in the middle of the movie.
I know. I had to
know?
really stare at it to like.
I didn't notice.
I knew who.
Really?
As soon as they showed it, I was like, "Oh shit, that's Tarkin!" Like that guy's been dead for
But I
however
mean,
many
he
years.
had a very unique facial structure as well. So it
I was like,
yeah, I get how like they couldn't
been
do like
very
the face
difficult.
mapping and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
but I like when I saw it with Daisy, I had like midway through, I was like, "That guy's not real," and she was like, "What? That's not a real person?"
Really?
Yes,
I told Sarah the same thing. Yeah.
I had to tell her because I knew if I told her after the movie, she wouldn't remember which character he was. And I was like, I need to like tell you midway through because she hasn't looked at me for anything weird. And I was like, I think she 100% like that's a real person.
I don't knock it at all because I know it's probably easily the best they could have done with it.
Well, yeah, I
Like,
agree.
easily, like 100%. So that's fine. But
Yeah.
it was noticeable.
I don't think it was. Yeah, I don't think it was bad. I thought it just was noticeable.
Yeah. Leia's was
too.
even a little more noticeable.
Leia's was worse to me than his.
Really, I thought it was better.
No,
I
I
saw
didn't
it
think
immediately.
so.
I think it was better
Theater.
just because it was a 5-second shot.
Yeah,
That might have
if
been
you
that
weren't,
time
you
with
didn't. The camera didn't have to linger like too much around this person, around her.
Yeah.
So you kind of saw it, and you're like, "Oh, okay, that's really cool." And then just
Did she
that's
say
it.
anything?
Yes.
Hope.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think maybe that's why I didn't notice as much with her, because the thing that made Tarkin stand out is when he got mad and was like, his mouth would do this thing, and it didn't look natural to me. Maybe that's why his stood out to me.
I wonder if the writer of this film held himself back from having Leia say "A New Hope" at the end.
Oh,
You know, like,
man.
But
what
they
did
said
what
hope
did
so
they-
many times.
It's because they said hope way too many times.
But
already.
at the end, it's like, what did they get for us? It's like hope.
Rebellions
hope.
are built
And I was
on
like,
hope.
oh, you wanted to say "A New Hope,"
A new-
didn't you?
Thank
A New
God.
Hope.
Thank God, though. They already said Rogue One. They already said hope a million times.
That was not a bad Rogue One.
No,
Reveal
no, it
that.
wasn't.
No,
I wasn't
yeah.
upset. Usually when they say the title of the movie, I'm like Will Smith in Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
What are we, some sort of Suicide Squad?
But you
It's
know-
like, shut your fucking face, Will Smith.
They do that in so
But-
many movies, but even when they did it in the trailer, I was like, this is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when I saw it like in context, I'm like, it's great.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
they
usually
made it shorter
cringy.
for the trailer, where it seemed like he was just saying Rogue One. But like in this one, it's like Rogue.
And they're like, give him something, say something. He's
One?
like,
It made
Yeah.
sense. I liked it.
Yeah, I didn't cringe at it. I was like, oh, yeah, okay.
yeah, I always cringe at those
I like
moments
it.
because I'm always like, ugh. Yeah.
How did you like it, Ryan?
I don't want to go.
You're,
do you
you're
mean?
the only
You
one
gotta
left.
go.
Come on. Before we get into story and stuff, we need your thoughts.
Yeah, it's kind of the whole point of the podcast.
I thought it was okay.
Just okay, you son of a bitch.
You're the 5.5,
I'm just kidding,
aren't
right?
you?
It's kind of scratching at the door of greatness.
That's a 9 at least. Then
Ryan's gonna sit with the
Something that
5.
scratches
Ryan's a
right
I
at the
5.5.
think
door.
8 is great.
you think?
He's a
So for you,
5.5.
it was a 7.
7's good. It's somewhere around a 7 for me. I mean, I have to admit, I was kind of bored through a lot of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
And I was
Okay.
I was not I was excited to see this movie.
You
It's
know
like
what?
I was excited for the Spider-Man trailer,
Yeah.
and I was kind of ho hum on that as well.
No,
So I didn't
Trailer's
take
great.
bias into it. You know?
That's good, though.
I was really excited for it, and I was
Yeah.
pumped for
I-
all the characters except Felicity Jones, which she did fine,
Yeah, she was okay.
but I didn't care about her.
I didn't have
I cared
complaints.
more about Diego Luna.
Oh,
He almost stole the show for me because he was extremely layered and
That was Cassian.
Cassian.
Yeah, Cassian. He was
Cassian was
he's
good.
probably the most layered Star Wars character we've gotten in a while.
yeah.
That scene where like she's telling him like that he like after he like was going to kill her dad,
Yeah.
but then
Yeah.
didn't, and he's back in the ship, and she's I forget what line she says to him, but he was like, "You don't get to say this shit to me. You like I've been you think you were hurt? I've been doing this since I was 4."
6.
You're like
6.
6, yeah. Like it
God
was,
damn, 4? God.
It's just getting younger. Yeah.
At that age.
but still, it was that moment where you're like, at first you're like, Cassian, you little bitch, but then he comes out and says that, and you're like, oh fuck, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's
like-
all he's known.
Like an onion,
they-
it's just peeling layers
They
back.
do a good job of
You could-
expressing that pain of the rebels, of how long they've been fighting and how hard.
Yeah.
That came across in his first scene with that dude that he met up with in the beginning and
Oh, yeah.
put him down.
Yeah,
quote
he's
unquote.
like, don't worry, don't worry.
I
Just,
love that part.
He's like, I can never get out of here. He's like, well, then you're going to
Shit.
be in a lot of trouble if you
Yeah.
live. So,
Like
Yeah.
I think he felt like he was putting him out of a misery that he would.
yeah.
Because
so
he was like,
you're not
neither of
gonna
us
get
are
out
going to
here.
survive.
You're going to give
if
my
we
name
live.
away. Not only that, you're going to be tortured for the rest of your life. So this is better.
Yeah, it made it. Oh, that's when I knew I was like, this is gonna be a war movie because it's not gonna be like good versus bad. Because most Star Wars is like good versus bad.
Yeah.
This is showing like, we're not all good.
And, yeah, like they say, we've all done bad stuff for the greater good.
Yeah,
Everyone has to live with it. And like even their with Saw Gerrera's stuff and the Alliance, like it's all different methods to this. Some are more, worse than others, but
yeah.
they're all trying to achieve the same thing. But you got to get your hands dirty along the way.
Yeah, the fact that they had extremists within the rebels.
Yes,
Just-
that was really interesting.
Yeah, but it makes
You
sense.
got to have that. Yeah, there's always going to be two sides to something like that. Like,
It's always like you get the people like right now what's going on in the Middle East. Like people were like in the Syria thing where the government attacked and the people were like, no, we're gonna fight back. But then you also had terrorists going over there,
yeah,
and it's like it was like shit. It's very real, I guess.
I was even going to say like civil rights movement. You have MLK and Martin Luther King and what's his name?
Malcolm X.
Malcolm X. You know, two different sides to the same thing, different methods of accomplishing it. So
Yeah. But Saw Gerrera's character was amazing. I know a lot of people hated him. Ryan made a face.
You know, he was pointless to me.
You know what was pointless?
He served a purpose that was really contrived to me.
Squid Droid.
His purpose was R2D2.
To give the message?
Deliver this message.
Yeah,
Except for you're not going to go
that
deliver
felt
the
like-
message. You're going to stand here and wait for maybe she might come to you and then hope you give her this message because it's really fucking important that she gets it. But you're not doing anything to give it to her.
It's a link.
The whole
Well, if
first act felt like I had a lot of filler in it to me. And it
Yeah, I didn't like Saw Gerrera.
seriously dragged. Like I said, I was kind of bored with some of this. And
I told Maggie because I also feel like it was slower on the pickup from the beginning. Mm-hmm. The whole scene with I keep mixing up Ben Mendelsohn's name with Mick. No, not Mick. Mickelson.
Mads Mikkelsen.
Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah,
I mix up him
father.
and Ben Mendelsohn a lot. What's it again?
Her father.
Yeah, her father.
Galen Erso.
Yeah, that whole scene, like at the beginning, leading up to her in the prison,
Yeah.
the prison transport.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That could have been all cut if they did where they had Saw Gerrera.
Yeah.
If they reversed the scene where he finds her and down there in that little shelter, if it was reversed and they made it to where like he was dropping her off like he said he did. If they made it like that's where the movie starts, where he's like, I can't take care of you anymore. I'm gonna have to ditch you. And he leaves
when she
her.
was 16.
Yeah, and he leaves her as a 16-year-old and something like that. And then it goes directly into the prison transport. And then you get the explanation when they meet up again. You're like, oh, okay, that explains everything. And because you already figure out the rest of with her dad throughout the movie. You know, like they do a whole exposition of it at the beginning.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can also figure it out like almost immediately as the movie starts going on with the first like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So you could have easily like cut that like maybe 20 minutes out.
Like it had exposition set up for exposition that was going to have later on.
Yeah, so like I could see where that could make it more drawn out, and there are ways you could have cut it and redirected the beginning to make it like faster paced. But like being a fan of like movies like Lord of the Rings, where I love this long drawn out shit because I want to sit in the movie for 5 hours.
Yeah.
Like I didn't mind.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I feel like that with a lot of movies lately is that they should all just be a little longer.
This one was pretty long.
Because
It was really long.
yeah,
It was 2 hours and 30 minutes. It was really long.
Yet so many characters just didn't really have much screen time.
There's a lot of people though.
Oh, that's the purpose of making a film longer, to spend a bit more time with that, cutting out stuff like we were just talking about
But
at the beginning.
I felt like I got good connection between everyone.
Yeah.
It
You
was
don't
more
need
subtle.
that much. Yeah, like you don't need too much. They put the intro for the parents so that you could see that he's escaped before, he's troubled, and he is a rebellious person too, and he's being forced to do something he didn't want.
Yeah.
But you get hurt. That's what she sees because she never sees him again. And then when she gets the message, she understands what he's been doing, that how he made himself indispensable for the greater good purpose of doing this thing. Because if not, they were going to do it without him anyway. They would have killed him and his family and done it without it.
I also feel like this movie did a good job of covering up loopholes that other movies kept.
Plot holes.
Like
Plot holes?
plot
Oh.
holes. Did I say
Yeah.
loopholes?
Yeah.
Yep.
Plot holes.
Plot holes?
Like the whole
Damn.
like everybody's like, why is there such a huge flaw in the Death Star?
Yep.
This movie explained it. Like
This movie was literally just, we fixed it, shut up.
that, and there's also in the prequels where they're like when they had the boycott or whatever. And there was like a ring of ships around the planet. They're like, how are you going to keep a whole bunch of people from entering a planet? And then they did it with the last scene where that force field.
Oh,
Was
yeah,
there?
the shield.
Yeah, and I was like,
Okay.
okay. So it felt like they did a lot of that where they're like, where the prequels made plot holes.
Mm-hmm.
This was like a sequel to the you get what I mean. It was another movie that closed up plot holes. It didn't make any plot holes, but it covered up a bit.
I found one that I thought was weird. This one you have to assume, and it comes from the Cantina guys being on Jeddah.
Oh, fuck that.
Right before it blows up, I'm like, okay, they're there, and that's awesome, because I liked it. I was like, oh, man, and they're fucking want to pick a fight and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was like, I have to assume that they left almost immediately, or else it would make no sense.
Yeah.
The one thing that I had beef with is they were unclear in all the Death Star scenes whenever they attacked cities that they weren't outside, that they were outside the city. Because they were always like right directly outside the city that was getting blown
I
up.
see what you
And
mean.
they never like really gave the message that they got out of the city and they were far enough away that they're not going to get obliterated too. So every time the Death Star is like, let's attack this city, and I'm like, they're in that city. That's stupid. That's going to end the movie.
You're right. I remember thinking like, oh, how are they going to get out of this?
Location
then
was a little
in the
muddy.
city.
And there wasn't a clever way they got out of it. They were just magically far enough away to where it didn't affect them.
Wait,
Enough.
people in the Death Star?
No.
No, like
No,
in
the main
Jeddah.
About the
characters
heroes.
of the game. Like when Jeddah got blown up, they were just far enough away that they were like, okay, well, we can leave now.
Well, even then, I mean, the shockwave caught up to them, but they had enough time to leave. Like, they were far enough that, like, it didn't immediately hit them.
But they never explained that they spent this trip getting away from the city, because that's got to be a far trip to
that
get
looked
enough
like
away.
a really far trip to be still in the same
It
day.
creates this false sense of danger. Where
Yeah,
it's
it's
like,
like-
we're going to destroy this city. They're using the Death Star in the movie.
Yeah,
but they're
and-
not actually there.
And it's
after
like-
all.
That's true. And, I mean, you're going off that, like, by time they're making this decision to blow up the city, they've been well far away. They've already made the travel.
That didn't
Because
bother
they're
me-
already at the base.
That didn't bother me too much because the Death Star also, like, even if you scale it down, it still blows up planets. So
Yeah, and that was a
even-
really small scale if it just blew up that. Like, the
Yeah.
city and little surrounding areas like that.
and in the second one, well, they fucking die.
Yeah.
Like they're not outside, like they're not at a safe distance because they all die anyway.
Yeah. Oh, that was awesome to me.
I love that everybody died.
Me too. I feel like that's the way you had to do it.
Yeah,
It doesn't
and
really
it,
make sense not to.
Yeah.
and all the deaths were like you felt every one of them.
Yes.
In my opinion.
I totally. I felt bad for every single one of them except the random people that were like on the shore.
Oh, the guy who was like, "I'll get it."
Dude, yeah. Actually, for him, I felt bad because like, oh, come on.
No, I laughed. I was like,
That
was
had to be intentionally funny.
yeah. I laughed at it. I was like,
And it was a black man.
Oh, yeah.
damn it.
As soon as he said, I was like, there was like a pause, and I was like, okay, obviously, the main character needs to go do this, and that's where they're gonna die.
Even in the midst of battle and war, how can you not take a look at that right next to him and be like, okay, come on, that was kind of funny, guys.
They had to set up the danger for, the other dude walking out there blindly.
Yeah. Oh,
quite literally.
such a good scene.
So yeah,
Why'd you
they had
say
to
it
set
like
up
that?
that like
Yeah,
as soon as he
what?
steps out, he gets shot.
Such a good scene.
I did not say it
Why
like
did you have an
that.
accent?
Shut the fuck up. I did not say it like
Yeah,
that.
You had an
did.
accent.
You
Oh
did.
my
Oh
god.
no, I did not.
Why were you looking blindly
I
at the
love Donnie
ceiling?
Yen. I love Donnie Yen. How dare you?
Who doesn't? Just
You were
saying.
pretending you were blind too. That was just bad. You were looking around like Stevie Wonder saying, "Such a good scene."
But it expressed the implication of the Force.
Oh my god, yes.
So it made
Oh, what? I was gonna say
Until he couldn't, ward away a fucking explosion because
No,
that's
dude.
not a
Yeah.
beam.
Yeah.
Destiny. It's Force Destiny.
well.
As much as they drill Destiny into all the other Star Wars movies, it as someone who's channeling and like knows of the Force because it's a real thing in this universe. It's not just like
Yeah.
random
Yeah.
religion. I don't know.
It was weird because it
But
was
like,
real.
it's real. It's a legitimate
All of
thing.
it. Yeah.
This dude believed in it. He trusted it. And he was like, I have a job. I can do this. I can do it. The Force will protect me. I trust it. And it
Yeah.
protected him just enough to complete the goal. And that was his destiny. Whether he
Exactly.
foresaw that this is my destiny, this is why I was brought here, because the Force guided him to Jin.
yeah.
Like he knew this was his moment. That's why he was okay with it.
Yeah.
I
And
like
then-
that he stumbled to find the lever.
I
didn't-
thought that was
yeah,
really
that
funny
was
too.
good. That
He
was
didn't just
good
immediately
though.
was
Because
like-
I was like, oh yeah, he's blind. Because he was like,
Yeah,
where
but that
is
was
like-
good though. And there was like that part
Yes.
where, like, for me, I was like constantly trying to figure out: is he Force sensitive, or does he pray to the Force? And it's like a cleric or something, or where like he gets powers for praying or some shit like that.
Yeah, I think he was just like a Force monk. He didn't actually have any specific Jedi powers. He was just in tune with
Yeah.
You're just in tune
Yeah,
with
they
it.
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like you're left to be able to be like, well, how does it doesn't say this is how the Force works.
Okay, look, he got some radioactive material in his eyes, and all his senses were enhanced.
No, that was just his glaucoma. It's just the glaucoma.
Daredevil
He's been doing
of
death
Star Wars.
sticks.
Oh, his action was good too.
It was
Like,
so
all-
good. Yeah.
I
Very well filmed.
That was what I was waiting for because I love the Ip Man movies and stuff. I was like, I'm waiting for this.
I love
Yeah,
that first
he
fight
created
scene.
the fighting
first
style
fight scene was
himself.
Yeah,
Beats the shit out of all those dudes, and then that other like group runs up, and then the other guy shoots them.
yeah.
They just get mowed down. He's just like, oh, okay.
You almost shot me, dude.
You know what too though is that Donnie Yen's character, like his whole death too, sets up the redemption in the Force for his friend.
Yeah.
Like he, when he's holding him and he's telling him, you'll find me in the Force. and all of a sudden he's back to believing in the Force again.
Yeah.
And he knows the same thing too. He's like, I'm one with the Force. When you die, you're going to become part of the Force. So,
and that, like him going around shooting everybody, he's like, I don't give a fuck anymore.
I don't care. I'm just going to go until I can't anymore. Yeah.
That's the only option.
I wonder
Otherwise, you would have been killed anyway.
I wonder if that's what led to us never seeing Death Troopers again. Like, oh, it turns out they're useless, guys.
You know what? I was
They're
like,
not that special after all.
I was like, poor stormtroopers. They're not really doing that great. And then the Death Troopers come out, and I was like, hey, look, they're hitting people, and they're obsolete again.
There's also like they where they made sure not to keep a plot hole. Also, the droids, because like K2,
Yeah,
this is the only movie where we see them.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
but the way they covered it up was a little obvious because they had the stormtroopers talking. Did you hear they're discontinuing those droids?
Did they say K2? I heard them say discontinuing something, and I didn't catch what it was.
They were talking about T-15 because in A New Hope there were a pair of stormtroopers talking about T-16s.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what T-15 or T-16
I
are.
assume that's what K2 was.
No, it's
no.
either a weapon or
It wasn't a droid.
ship model. I don't know. Something. I don't think it's droids though.
Okay.
Maybe they discontinued because they're like, these can be reprogrammed pretty easily.
I loved his hammer fist.
Oh!
When he knocked that guy, and he's just like, bah!
Oh yeah.
We don't need your assistance.
That
That was my favorite part. He's just bam.
I think my favorite
Big
part was the
metal hand.
grenade.
What?
Oh, when he just catches the grenade?
Yeah, his best moment was the grenade.
Oh, yeah, he's
Yeah.
like, King, didn't need me, huh?
His reflexes
and
just...
he's just holding it
Yeah.
the whole time. And he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I heard shit was happening, so I came down.
Yeah.
Tosses it behind him.
And he does the same thing when he's like trying to get them into the files, and like he's doing the thing, and somebody walks into the door. He's like, pew!
Yeah.
So good, man. That kept throwing me off, but then I was like, oh, he's a robot, of course.
Yeah.
But I felt so, like, real sad as he was getting, like, taken out. Just being overwhelmed by
Yeah,
everyone.
like his was the first death, and that one made me like hurt the most.
That was the point, is they built that character up. They're like, we're going to make
Yeah.
you love this guy because he's such a sassy asshole, and then he's going to save everybody.
And
Yeah.
not to mention, too, so you feel a little, like, have some kind of, like, connection with a robot when he dies. Because usually it's like, robots die, is like, yeah, that's fine.
I'm not gonna give a shit if C-3PO dies.
I don't think,
Yeah.
I think we're long past that
maybe
point.
even
Because that's
R2.
saving
If they
anyway.
kill R2, I'm mad. But
Yeah, but they also like I think they touched on the robot's personality when they were like, you can just wipe a droid, and then I think maybe I heard the conversation wrong in the movie, but they were talking about how like we didn't reprogram you, we just made you a blank slate or something like that.
I thought it was his personality was a malfunction of the reprogramming.
Yeah, it is. It's a malfunction of the
Okay,
reprogramming.
yeah, but they
That's why
made
he's
they
so
made a
sassy.
point of saying like this is you. You're you. You're not just a programmed a certain way.
No.
He's essentially a Chewie that you can understand.
Yeah.
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 He's a lovable, dumb character that's, just big brute strength that's sassy as fuck.
Yeah, and not very good at telling lies.
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's
I'm
just
taking them
rude.
to the prison.
he like stutters a lot. Like,
Yeah.
I
It's like,
don't
I'm
know.
taking these prisoners somewhere. Can you
Where?
point me in the right direction?
Where are you taking them? The prison?
Yeah, he was totally like the Chewie character of this movie.
Yeah.
I need to go
And
find his
obviously-
figure now.
Cassian is the.
I want him.
I have a little one.
You have the little one? Oh, I keep finding the big 6-inch ones.
Yeah, those are. I wanted that one.
And
I also want to find it.
Walmart.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh man, Walmart's been cleaned out as fuck though because of Christmas.
Yeah,
All right, guys,
true
let
that.
Kramer go.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead. You had a thought?
I was gonna talk about like because they didn't have Jedis here, they clearly made everybody different. Maybe it's just me thinking in terms of like D&D because we've been playing a shitload of D&D, but there were obvious
Not
classes, and like I know in some of like the older Star Wars games, I haven't played them, but I know like they have like you can do different classes and stuff besides Jedi, and they obviously had a monk, they obviously had rogues, or they had a big heavy,
A heavy, yeah.
yeah, like everybody was like they weren't
A pilot.
Yeah, the pilot,
Yeah.
where it's not like, just Jedis all over the place. Or like, the main hero is obviously going to be a Jedi. Here it was like, and like you were saying, they didn't concentrate too much on like a character. I like that everybody got a little bit of limelight.
Everyone was there for a reason. Like,
Yeah, but they were
fit
all
perfectly.
like specialized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good team, like, because of that.
I like that a lot. Like you got to see different kinds of action from different kinds of people. Mm-hmm. Like the whole part where like they're jumping onto that little inside of the storage
files?
drives.
The
Yeah, the
files?
file place.
Yeah.
The way they were jumping on and climbing, I'm like, obviously the big heavy isn't going to do that.
Yeah. That's why he was part of the outside team.
Yeah, but everybody had like really unique roles, and it like they accentuated that, and I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it made all the characters more unique in their own right.
Yeah. Even the pilot, who I thought wouldn't have much to do, was way more useful.
Oh, he was good.
Very I felt bad for him too when he blew up.
Yeah.
That face he makes when he's just like, oh, damn.
Oh yeah, when he sees the grenade.
He sees the grenade.
Like,
He's
wow.
just like, and then when what's his name, Donnie Yen's friend, they all look back when they know the explosion was him.
Yeah, because that's exactly where the ship is. They
Yeah.
see the explosion. They're just like, well, we're fucked. We can't get out of here.
Yeah, man.
Was this a normal stormtrooper that tossed that grenade?
Yeah, he just like
Or
saw
was
the
that a
opening.
I
And,
think it was a Scarif.
Yeah, it was
trooper.
a Scarif trooper, one of the tan ones.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a Scarif.
I don't think they would have given that to a normal stormtrooper.
He would have been like, "What?"
Looks at it in his hand.
he would have thrown it, and then his friend would have caught it. Yeah, and been like, "What is this?" And he's like, "No, boom."
Oh, boom.
That's fucked up.
He's like, I can't see a thing out of this.
Oh, man, like when Jin is climbing up to go meet her dad, and Mendelsohn they're talking,
Yeah.
and she pops up behind that stormtrooper and just tosses him off. I was like, poor guy, he didn't even have a chance. He couldn't even see her in that
was
helmet.
so funny. That scream, like,
That's the famous scream that they have in like all the movies, and like TV shows.
One of the
Wilhelm?
famous screams.
Yeah, the Wilhelm scream.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was
it's pretty funny.
Okay, what about I guess we can break down each individual character like really quickly. Since we're kind of talking just in general. Like pilot guy was awesome. We mentioned it briefly.
So the mind thing that happened with him at the very beginning.
That
The slug. Okay, the slug sucked.
Part of the,
Yeah,
that was
okay, I'll give
part
you
of
that
the
one.
filler. That I'm
Yeah,
talking
that
about.
was dumb.
The slug was not needed.
And
It
then
had
his
no
like,
bearing on anything. Like,
I was like,
Yes, there was
oh,
no
this is-
consequence
oh my
of it.
God.
Like,
yeah.
I justified it one way. Clearly, Saw is going crazy. He's losing his damn mind.
of course, he's
He thinks this slug is doing something because, like, if he would have just read the message and seen his friend, Galen, he would have realized, yes, this guy is telling the truth. But no, he's a crazy, paranoid person. And he's got some crazy slug that can tell whether you're lying. And he's like, I need to put him through the ringer anyway.
yeah, but if they wanted to really lean into the war thing, they could have done like torture. Like,
Maybe
but
that's
I get
torture.
I get it was torture, but
because he was
it
in
was
like a
stupid torture.
He was very like dumb at before they started talking. He's like, I'm the pilot.
But like the way he was making it sound was like you're gonna be fucked up permanently after this. And like, granted, he is a little less energetic than when they first find him.
I
and
didn't
stuff.
catch that he was going to be messed up permanently.
Well,
He just said-
that's what he. That's
Well, he
what
said,
Saw
yeah, he's like, the side
insinuates.
effects are you lose your fucking mind,
Yeah, he's
basically.
In
Yeah.
more or less words.
He was. A
It
waste
just
of
it wasn't
screen time.
needed. Like,
unless it's like if you lie, you lose your mind, and then if you tell the truth,
I don't know why
No,
we're
he
even
said,
talking about- I
he
don't
said
even
if
care
you
about
tell
this
your truth,
conversation.
the thing will know.
You don't care about this conversation.
No,
Yeah,
The slug
basically it
wasn't
was
needed.
if you tell a lie, it will know and it will punish you. But the side effects, regardless, are you lose your mind. That's why when they find him, he's like, "What? I'm the pilot?" No,
Yeah, I thought it would be more permanent.
this is dumb.
now he
That
snapped out of
guy,
it really quickly. You
that
see,
guy should have went directly to the rebellion and been like, "Hey, I was sent by Ursa for this," and Saul should have just been gone.
Well-
Like his entire presence in the movie was filler.
But
to
the
me.
problem with that is if they had gone directly to the rebellion and the rebellion went to go look for the file, they would not find it because it was labeled Stardust.
No, because the rebellion broke her out based on what that dude went to tell Saul. They just got intelligence saying that guy was going to tell him.
yes. So it's pointless.
So they
Yeah.
break her out based on their suspicion that there's a flaw in the Death Star and she's the one that can solve it. They have
Well-
nothing to do with Saul at all. The only thing is they need that message that is given to Saul. That's
Yeah.
his point of the movie. Is
Yeah.
he receives the message and they have to have her talk to him.
We're pushing him to the corner too
Okay,
much.
'cause-
It's okay.
No,
th-
because
no.
then you can't get the monk character, you don't get the heavy character. You have to.
Of course you do. You contrive it out of something else.
But they did contrive it. That's what we got.
Those characters didn't have anything to do with Saul. It's just
They were just
location.
on that planet.
But also, Forrest Whitaker's was so good.
No, he wasn't.
That fucking-
No, he wasn't.
He was
Oh,
bad.
you have to kill me.
No.
Oh my God.
I love that.
It felt like
no one liked
It
that.
felt like a dumb I want to be
It
in
made
a
me
Star Wars
laugh.
movie performance.
I'm not saying it wasn't funny. I'm
When
just
I
saying it was
first-
good.
When I first saw the mask thing, my immediate thought was if Disney took this and turned him into Darth Vader, I'm punching the guy next to me.
But they didn't. They just made him like he's like
I
don't know
understand,
what the
but that
fuck it
my
was, but it was
first
funny.
He's
thought
like,
was,
I need my helium for my funny voice.
he was not a necessary character. I feel like he could have definitely taken 30 minutes off the movie by just taking him out of it entirely.
It was just so that like they could meet the pilot, basically, because the pilot's sent to go find. If Galen has no other friends but Saw, so it makes sense that he would send the pilot to go find this guy.
Galen
He can
could
help
have
you, right?
Sent the pilot with the message to the rebellion,
But
and
he doesn't.
And then the rebellion would still get Jin.
But does he know the rebellion? I think was the point.
What do you mean? Does he know the
He
rebellion?
knows the
does he
rebellion.
know
Just
people
send
in
him
there?
to the rebellion. Find
He's part of
them.
the Empire. He knows the
He's-
rebellion exists.
Well, yeah,
The
I guess
reason
he
that
knows
the
where.
Death
But does
Star
he know
is
where they
created-
are? Like, how does he? I think in the sense of like who to trust.
The
If
reason
you trust leaving your young child to this man, you can assume that he's probably a pretty trustworthy guy.
Yeah,
Well,
there's
you got-
spies everywhere. You don't know who to trust in the rebellion.
Well, you also got to think about this. The Death Star was created to destroy the rebellion. The first thing that they attack are rebellion outposts. He knows where the rebellion is because he's that rooted into the Empire. His coding is what causes it to kill the rebellion. He knows where they are. He could have sent that pilot directly there. With
No,
that
because they don't
message.
know that Yavin 4 is there. They're just blowing up Jeddah because it's a mining outpost. What that they know
Well,
Saw is attacking
see, we're ta-
consistently
what
because
we're-
they talk about different breaches there.
We're talking about in terms of what like characters would do, right?
Yeah,
I understand y'all are coming from a point where it makes sense that he would go to Saw because his family knew him,
right.
and they all knew him. But from a writing standpoint, Saw should have just not been in the movie,
Well, yeah.
and they should have come up with another way to.
They
push
could
the
have.
story.
They could have hinted that she went to Saul and then he abandoned her, and she was just the daughter of this dude.
I was fine with it. I liked it.
I get
It's
both
fine,
points,
but it dragged the.
you
first
could have written
half
it
of
differently to happen, but since it did happen, you have to connect the dots of why, in their mind, they wanted it to work that way.
Yeah, I feel the character.
'Cause, I mean,
was
everyone
portrayed.
you can always do something differently, but to enjoy it, at least like you have to see. Okay, well, if they wanted it to go this way, and their points kind of make sense based on characters, then it's fine.
in a universe comprised of interesting characters, he was lackluster.
If anything, they killed him really quickly.
Yeah.
So I mean, he was basically just so that she could see the message.
Even then, he was like, "I can get out of here, but fuck it, I'm just gonna die."
He wouldn't have made it out with his robot legs. He was barely walking.
I didn't feel anything for him.
No,
I didn't
nobody
either.
felt
No,
that.
I don't
was
think. I get that was supposed to be like also a dramatic thing where he's
It
standing
was.
like I'm accepting my death,
And
You
you're
know,
supposed to feel bad and
feel a little
stuff.
bad, and I was like, nope, he's just a crazy dude. So
But yeah, at that point, I was just like, "Please get on the ship and leave. I'm done with the scene."
that's the people I was like, come on, hurry, get to the ship, escape the path of destruction that's coming towards y'all.
I do like the planet they were on. The planet was cool, like seeing like the old temples where the crystals were from.
They were Jedi temples.
Yeah, the old religious people that were there that still worship it, like, and that also goes back into like people saying like that the prequels weren't that long ago, but they say it's an ancient religion.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell like that it's one of those things like where cultures go back and they wipe out the culture behind them.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the Empire was doing it here, and this is the last remaining people that are holding on to this religion. And then after that's blown up, then obviously, nobody really knows about the religion anymore. And even then, like, the monks aren't even protecting anything anymore. They're basically homeless.
That's what the guy says. He's like, they have nothing to do anymore.
Yeah.
Like they've been taken away from what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, so even if like we got rid of like Saw Gerrera and all that, like just having that planet in the grander scheme of the storyline was cool to see. Like
it shows the Empire's destructiveness and like just doing what they want.
Well, they could have literally done the exact same thing and just taken him out of it. Just
that's
say,
true. Yeah,
for example, the pilot was sent by Urso to find his daughter specifically and give her the message, but he got caught on this planet and he's imprisoned, and the rebellion knows about it. So they go to rescue her because she's the one that the message is meant for. So they go rescue her. They go rescue the pilot. They get the message. They go to Urso.
They don't know what the message is. The message is not explained. She's the only one that sees it.
yeah.
that's
Because
what I
remember
mean
the
is
rebellion.
They just know that the pilot, there's a defected pilot who has defected from the Empire.
That's what I mean.
all they know.
They could
and they
know-
need to find the pilot.
They could know that the pilot is specifically going to deliver the message to her.
but there's no
No,
way
they
would
wouldn't
know
know that. They wouldn't know that.
That's because that's on the message.
I'm pretty sure he didn't even know what was on there.
They
because
know that the pilot was going to deliver the message to Saul Guerrero.
They knew he was looking
know?
for Saw Gerrera because he was asking about it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
the
Why
only
would
reason
they
they
know
got
he
her was because the only reason they could get to the message is because she knew Saw Gerrera.
And she just
What I'm saying is, what if they just knew that he was looking for her?
That's too much.
That's too much.
No,
That's too much of a
because the
jump.
pilot didn't even know what the message was. When Cassian asked him, "Did you see it?" Immediately after Gene tells him what the message is, he turns to the pilot and he's like, "No, he's never seen the message."
That's what I mean, though. Is they could have just been like, "Go find my daughter, give her this message," and the rebellion knows that the pilot's looking for her, but they know the pilot got captured, so they go find her because they know where she is.
I could kind of see that if they were like the pilot was walking around town asking about her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they're just like, "Who are you asking about?" And if an Empire guard hears that, they're gonna be like, "Who, Urso?" Obviously, that's a name that the Empire would know.
Yeah, and the rebellion knows.
Yeah, so that would make more sense than just
I could see
cut
it in that
Saw Gerrera out.
aspect. Yeah.
He was just a bad character to me.
He's
So
a
he
bad
was-
character. He wasn't that great, but I can kind of I don't know. I don't see that version working out too much to me.
It didn't bother me.
Because it's if we're two different factions.
I'm just trying to expedite the whole scene, the half hour of my life that he wasted because he was just a terrible character.
I don't think it was that bad.
I think it's
That's
best we
too
move
much.
I don't think it was that bad.
I think it's best we move on.
Yeah, we can move on.
Okay, we can move on.
Can we move on to
Ben Mendelsohn.
Ben Mendelsohn.
Director Krennic.
Good actor.
He was
Great.
one of the he was one
He
of
was
those
great.
good bitch of a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
I liked how he never had a handle on anything, and he was trying so hard. He was just like, "What happened?"
He got shot a
Shit,
couple
I have
times,
to
which
go
was
there.
awesome.
In the same shoulder.
Was it the same shoulder?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
He was
his
trying.
left
guy.
shoulder.
He was trying his darndest to be in A New Hope.
Yes, he was. Oh
It's
my
like,
god!
You're fated to not make.
You know what? To hear someone talk like that to Tarkin though
Yeah.
was really
Yeah,
interesting.
that was shocking.
Yeah,
Holy
he was
crap!
just like, "You're taking credit for all my work.
You will. Yeah, he's like,
you
he's
son
like,
of a bitch."
Tarkin's like, too bad.
I'm over here. I'm like, of course he is, dude, motherfucker.
Yep.
He's
Yeah.
Tarkin.
He's Tarkin. He was he wasn't Grand Moff. What did he call him? Governor Tarkin.
I think so. Yeah.
So I was like, someone gets a promotion in a couple days.
But he was still pissed about like the fact that it wasn't that like Tarkin was necessarily taking the credit, but he knew he was falling. Like he knew like they were blaming him, and that's why he was getting demoted.
Yeah.
And Tarkin was like probably pushing that, like you should probably demote him for this, and just let me go there.
Oh yeah,
He was already
like,
talking mad shit to him.
Power plays.
what it was is like, I created this big thing, but he let this flaw happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
This was my project, but he was overseeing this thing that caused, the issue. So he should be demoted. And look how great this thing works. Look what my work did. But that guy made it that much less good.
Yeah, taking out competition for like it's like business power plays or some shit. Like
Yeah.
in
Totally.
their office,
Very
squibbles,
Yeah.
power plays.
squibble word.
Man, just I enjoyed his just character in general.
I always thought, based on the trailers, that it was weird that he was decked out in a very different uniform. Something that we'd never seen prior or after.
Yeah,
And it makes a lot of sense that was something he endowed himself with.
Mm.
You know, like he put that cape on himself.
Yeah.
The white all over, that was his
to
choice
stand
to make.
apart because
it was a nice cape though.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
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 It was a
Strategically.
short one. Short capes are coming back.
In space.
That's true. But you know what's interesting is that they're like, that's fine. Everyone here wears the same thing, but that's cool. You can.
Yeah,
you can
nobody's
wear
going to
white.
question him. He's a superior officer. They were like,
But
I guess.
like the higher ups were like, that's cool.
The fact that he almost like sassed back to Vader made me like,
he didn't actually see too many officers higher than himself. So maybe he just like knew exactly where the higher officers were going to be.
Yeah.
And then dressed stupid when they weren't around because he was like, I'm the big shit. But when they came around, he was like, oh, better put on my Empire uniform. He was never had anyone around him except for Vader, and Vader doesn't give a shit what you dress like. He's like, he choked him anyway.
Yeah.
oh that
That
pun.
Oh man, that was so good.
That was really out of character.
Yeah, the pun was a little not.
I
wasn't-
wouldn't
was
say out
really
of character.
You know what?
I didn't hate it,
When
but
does
it did
Vader
resonate
make a
with me.
joke?
a
Vader
little.
does not make jokes, but man, I loved it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
It was an odd clip. It resonated with me. I didn't hate it, but I didn't
It was
love it.
funny as shit.
I was like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm kind of where you are, Tom. It was.
Maybe he's he changed a little. He got more stern after this.
I like how he
he was like, "This is the start of things not going well."
I like how it was framed. Like you didn't see Vader doing the Force choke
until he turned around.
And he's just like,
he has his hand like that. Oh,
it was just Vader. Like
shit.
you just see him stop, and then he's like it almost seems like Krennic doesn't know he's being choked. He's just like,
yeah.
yeah.
Holy crap.
what was the line?
His,
Be careful not to choke on your aspirations.
Yeah. Director Krennic.
Director
Krennic.
That
Did,
was
what's his
funny
name?
as shit. Maggie lost it.
Did his what's his name? The guy who does the voice.
Yeah,
drawing
James
is
Earl
blank.
Jones.
James Earl Jones. Sound a little different.
He's getting old.
Yeah,
He's getting old.
it's not as boomy and deep. Like I felt like he.
Can't blame him.
No, not at all. He's still got it though, but
Yeah, I felt like he didn't keep the consistency throughout anytime he talked. But
That maybe
I still
also
really enjoyed it because I knew that was his voice. So
could be because younger Darth Vader doesn't have that same.
well, actually,
I
it's
mean,
not
if you
really
think,
younger.
It's
if you
kind
think
a
of the
thing
timeline, it's only like
I think it's just
a
I
month
think
before.
it's a byproduct of how
true.
of the performance he's given because I heard him in Rebels recently, the cartoon, and that was also a little different.
a little different.
From
But
so
like
he's just changing.
Might be
you know?
aged.
It's
Yeah, it's age, but hey, he's still doing it. Maybe them. Well, not that they'd want to include Vader anymore. Best like keep some kind of sound bank of him just saying the dictionary and everything, so that they can recreate.
there is
something later on.
They do have a Vader voice modulator created
Oh, okay,
because in some video games he didn't voice him, but
but it sounds really good.
Oh yeah.
Oh, see?
You just
Okay.
gotta find a voice actor that
Not to
can.
mention the plastic masks you can purchase at Target.
Man, I had a problem with that.
With
I didn't
the
understand
mask?
that. Yeah,
The red tint.
it looked like fucking plastic. It was.
Yeah, it was a little janky.
I couldn't understand
I thought it looked good. I
why
didn't notice
they
it.
made that decision. First off, it didn't have any weathered effects on it, which he's supposed to look weathered. Because in a couple of hours later, that helmet's supposed to be fucked up looking. It's supposed to have scratches on it. Kind of.
He did have that fight at the end. Maybe got a little bit of.
I don't know if
dirt
you would
and
call
dust.
that a fight.
Let's
a
call it a.
massacre.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Can we talk about that, please?
right after this.
I'm over the helmet. It's fine. It was a weird thing that they didn't.
The only
pay
thing I was
attention
gonna
to
say
that,
is I thought the eyes were too reddish, but I know they have a red tint in A New Hope.
They do. They have.
but I feel like I
a-
noticed it too much.
They have like a brown sort of burgundy tint in A New Hope, and this
Yeah.
one was a little reddish.
yeah,
it was
a little more red. Did he seem also a little skinnier? Maybe that's just me.
Well, it's because they didn't have the original guy in the suit.
Yeah, why can't I remember his
He was
name?
a big
I know.
ass motherfucker.
But he did
Yeah.
I do agree. Like he did seem a little like
A little
skinnier.
skinnier. The tank thing was really interesting to see.
the Bacta tank.
Yeah, how Vader lives in the tank.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, true.
That was a nice little like it's extra, slightly out of like
And it
something
was
you've
on
never seen.
Mustafar, which was
Was that Mustafar? Because it looked just. I was like,
it was a lava
yeah.
planet. So
yeah.
Yeah, because,
You have
like-
to assume because there's only one.
And you see like a little bit of the like something similar in Empire where like he's in that egg.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
his,
Like,
like,
but
little chamber.
you only see like the helmet coming
Yeah.
back down. This is like you seeing him more completely come home, take the shoes off, pull up some cable,
Take
get
the
in my
legs.
tank.
Takes his legs off,
The
takes
arms.
his arms off, and then
Yeah,
hangs them on the.
that's probably what keeps him like for most of his life. I'm sure, like long periods of time,
Yeah, 'cause
just
he's
in
fucked
that chamber.
So that guy who came around in the hood,
Mm-hmm.
I'm super paraphrasing right now, but I read up that was some sort of that man was a part of some cult that like collected the leftover Vader parts of whatever, because like we knew Kylo has his helmet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's all he has because there's
Maybe
like a
linked
sort
to
of cult that
Link to Snow.
I don't know. He looked like him. That's for sure.
He did kind of.
he looked
like him.
weird, but I thought that was interesting that like
Well, if you
people
work-
were really wondering what he was in the trailer.
Yeah,
like,
it's weird
why
that
is
he
there
was-
a guy in the robe bowing to people
Yeah.
with the Imperial guards there, and then it just turned out to be some guy who works there.
It was weird that he's never touched upon.
Never touched the what?
He's never touched upon. Like we
Oh,
don't
yeah,
know
yeah.
what he was there for, or who he is, or what he.
Maybe just a Vader
Just some guy.
acolyte. I don't
Yeah,
know, some
some-
guy who follows Vader.
That would make sense if that led back to like Snoke or whatever that is.
No,
No, I mean,
I wouldn't like that.
I hate it
that
when-
that guy is
I'm
Snoke.
sorry.
Like
Not that guy is.
he becomes Snoke.
But like that, there's a cult that worships Vader, and like if they were close to it, because people were like, well, how did Kylo Ren learn any of this shit? It would have to be somebody who's like close to the Emperor or close to Vader,
No,
or the history books.
or he just read a lot of books. That's true. Maybe that was it. Fuck it. But that massacre
Okay.
scene though.
The scene at the end.
That made the movie for me.
Yes.
It kind of saved the movie for me, if I'm being honest.
Oh,
No, that was the cherry on the
same here.
Sunday for me.
It was like my dick's out. Now it came.
As soon as the red lightsaber,
In the darkness.
You know, it's only like 45 seconds long.
I wanted to watch it over and over.
That's the part I'm going to keep
It's on YouTube.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't care how shitty it is.
It's
I'm
not
going to
bad.
keep watching it.
It's okay, but
Oh my god, that
was like having like if we had never seen Hugh Jackman Wolverine Unleashed before,
Yeah.
and then we got that scene in Apocalypse, that was what this was.
Yeah.
man.
I liked it because there was we've only ever seen because they were talking about how like in the earlier movies Darth Vader barely moves because he's doing like bare minimum movement and he's going up against Obi-Wan. If you think about it, when he was walking down there, he was almost doing the same thing. It was bare minimum on his end.
It was very wrist, like
yeah, it was all wrist. Like somebody like an expert with a Wiimote. Like just going back and
your
forth.
brother.
Yeah. Like he didn't do like Yoda or anything like that in the prequels.
Yeah.
It was this. They kept the same fighting style that Vader had in the other movies.
Definitely, yeah.
But
they accentuated his power more.
yeah, because he wasn't fighting a Jedi.
Yeah.
He was fighting little pieces of shit that didn't mean anything to him.
Yeah.
That's how he would have seen it. Like he just sliced through for him, he wasn't even fighting. He was walking. Like that part where he's holding a guy up, and then as he's walking past,
yes. Oh my god. And they make that line. Tarkin says, "Vader." They're like, a ship is just got some transmission, and it's trying to escape. And they're like, "Should we get him?" Like, Vader's taking them. Vader will handle the ship.
Yeah.
And it's such a small line, but then you think about like they literally just sent him to this ship.
Yeah.
And he's taking out everyone.
You know what I actually would have preferred?
Huh.
If they didn't have the Vader scene in the beginning, where he shows up and he force chokes Krennic. And if they just had it where like the first time you hear Vader is like, don't worry, Vader's got it.
And then you see that?
Yeah, you would be like,
Holy
oh shit,
shit.
Vader's coming, Vader's coming. And then you like, they're in the ship and they're like, all right, let's go. Why is
You
the
hear
door
the
opening?
breathing?
And then you just hear, I get like my tingles now to think about it. Like,
Yeah.
if that was how he came into the movie, I might have actually came.
Man,
I
yeah.
can buy that. Yeah.
That would have been really cool too. I enjoyed just to see like force choke and stuff, but even if they didn't do it, that 45 seconds would have blown me away still.
Yeah.
Even more.
That's all I needed from the whole movie was that 45 seconds.
When he stabs the guy and then through the door.
Oh yeah, and he just
he's like,
slices out. He slices sideways.
Oh, that was so good. I was hoping that we'd see the lightsaber because I was like, if they make it to where he comes across any of the main characters, he's not taking out a lightsaber. Like he doesn't need to. They're not going to be worth his time, especially if it's one or two of them. And he can block blaster bolts like with his hand. So I was like,
which he does again in this.
Yes, he did.
He
So I was
holds
like-
it like Kylo does,
Oh man, it was
and
good.
then he pushes it.
So I was like, well, what are they going to do if they make him like have to use the lightsaber? Because I want to see it. And of course, he's going to bring it out if he's fighting, more people, like
See,
enough
that's the
people
thing.
with guns.
He doesn't even have to, but you get the impression of like, you know what? I haven't gone running in a while.
Yeah, I think that's the thing too. He doesn't have to, but there's enough people there. He's like, I can just swing this around and block stuff and do stuff with my other hand.
But he gets
Like-
creative in it too, which lets you know that like he's gotten to the point where he's like, I enjoy this.
It's just that show of skill, like just nothing. Like you guys are nothing. I'm toying with everyone.
I'll bring that up in a bit because it's
Bring it up
going
now.
in a different direction.
Bring it up now.
No,
Okay, fine.
I want to finish this off.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, if similar to the space that the Darth
Yeah.
Vader battle, then the space battle.
Oh yeah, all the dogfights and stuff.
Yeah, and
yeah,
the fucking
there was some unique stuff in there, like
that
pushing
hammerhead?
one star destroyer into another.
let's
that
throw
was
a
good.
ship onto the ship,
Yeah.
and then throw both of those ships onto the force field.
Yeah, that's smart. I like that.
Thinks about that. I have an idea. no
Mon
one's
Cal-
ever done it before. No one will ever do it again.
I really love that scene.
He's got that little giblets.
I'm like, why does their ship look like little aquariums? He's just sitting in a chair with windows, and he's just dangling his feet.
What do you mean? Why?
That's how it was. That's how the.
I know, but
yeah.
I like when I think about that as a design, I'm like, that is
It's
the
a
worst
fish.
design. Shut up! It's still the worst design.
The frog's riding a fish.
Especially because it's like when they pan out to his ship, you see this giant glass bowl, and it's like, guys, just shoot that. Just shoot that.
No, but there's the force field. They can't just shoot it.
They can still shoot it when the force fields go down.
Well, when
It's
the
just
force fields
it's
go
an
down.
odd design. It's the only ship of its kind like that. Like just his people.
Well, you don't know if it's his people because his people might live underwater. Maybe when it lands,
They are not in water at any time.
But you don't know that. Maybe they land on their planet. Maybe their planet's all water, and then that part can see under the ocean.
Nope, I don't think so. I
They
think
do
you're
live
wrong.
underwater, yeah.
Yeah, fuck you, Juan.
They do.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
And fuck you, Kramer.
No, fuck you, Juan.
I told you they lived underwater the whole time.
I'm kind of remembering that based off a Clone Wars episode that I watched. That
Oh, okay.
He lives in a fishbowl under the sea.
It took place
Well, you
underwater.
made an assumption,
Those
and
are
I
people
also made an
under the
assumption.
sea.
Easy there. Easy.
So there.
What do you say, Tom?
I love the Vader ship entrance.
The Villa?
The Vader ship entrance. When they're like, all right, it's time to pull out. And then,
Yeah. Yeah, they're like, we got this. Boom. Fuck.
Oh, yes. I
It just
remember
like
that.
warped
hyperdrives
in-
into
yeah.
there.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, which part are you talking about?
when Vader
'Cause they were
shows
just
up.
making noises.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, when he shows up out of hyperdrive and
Yeah,
they
'cause
smashed
they're-
into his
Because they're
Star
like,
Destroyer.
yeah, we won, guys. Awesome sauce. Let's leave
Escape.
now.
Escape.
And then Vader's just like, boom, in front of them. They're like, nope. And there's no
Yep.
way they can get past this big-ass ship.
And
Yeah.
a couple people hit him, right?
Yeah, a couple ram into him and
just-
explode. Independence Day style, running into the alien ship.
Fuck. And that's like the whole turning point. Because like, first you're like, they might make this. And like, nope, everybody dies.
Nope.
That's when everything starts going to shit.
And then that one ship gets away, which is the one Leia's on, coincidentally.
Yeah.
The diplomat ship.
Did I miss that? Was it
What?
that ship that got away have Leia on it, or did that guy bring it to Leia?
No,
it had Leia
that
on
was
it.
Leia's ship.
She was on that exact
But
ship?
she was
That's
on
the
the
New
ship.
Hope ship right there.
Okay.
But
That's the one-
Because it looks like it on the inside, too.
And that's
Okay.
the one that
I just-
C-3PO and R2 are on.
They're already on that.
Yeah.
Okay, I just didn't know if like that ship after they escaped Vader went to Leia's ship because then he
Oh,
hands her the
okay.
thing,
Okay.
Yeah.
or if she was already on that ship.
It's the
and
same
then,
design.
Okay, cool.
Same
But
design.
Ryan
ship.
makes a good point of like her being, this is the diplomat ship. And Vader could have been like, I saw your ship.
I was just thinking that like,
Yeah, it's
man,
a
the
bit-
balls on Leia now that she's literally lying to his face, and he's like, I know you're lying. She's like, nope, nothing here.
Look here, bitch.
Sean?
I can't do a Darth Vader voice. I've
Can't
tried.
do any voice except Sean.
I can do other voices. I was going to say Bane, but Bane is basically Sean Connery with
You
the
turned
mask.
Bane into Sean Connery. Mr. Wayne. Yeah, see, he's trying not to
He
do
was
it.
about to do it again.
Mr. Wayne, can I interest you in a cheese Danish?
So, Ryan, what was the thing that you had a problem with?
Well, I had a problem like the first maybe half of it, just kind of dragging, and it lacked this Star Wars energy.
Forrest Whitaker?
Forrest Whitaker did not help. I'm sad that Mads got such a small role.
Oh,
Keeps
I wish
getting
we would have
such-
seen him more.
Yeah, I really need that dude.
I was like,
to
why does he
star in
keep
a movie.
dying?
Yeah,
I keep killing him off.
I,
But it was
because
sad.
he's
To me, it was touching.
he is capable of great things.
he
in
is,
the-
but that doesn't mean you have to force stuff. Like, I felt his role, like the character, he died when he needed to die.
Yeah.
yeah.
was
They used that cliche
death.
really well.
I didn't like how
You
he
know.
was frozen though in that little like shape with his hands. Like,
Oh, when
It's
he
like
died?
laying on
Motherfucker got blown up.
He's
Like,
like,
man, don't criticize
but
how
like,
he landed.
But they did, like, where the knee was supposed
Okay, y'all keep bumping into
they
y'all's
did,
mics.
they did the thing where the knee was supposed to be like bent backwards from the explosion,
Oh.
but it's elevated, so you know he's just sitting there in an awkward position. He didn't actually get hurt; he's just lying there. It could have been like, before you go, twist my leg.
doesn't matter. I'm dead.
I mean,
I thought it was sad. I felt like that guy's probably lived such a shitty life. You know, he even like
oh,
tries
whatever.
To,
He's had high living. You know,
Man.
he's reluctantly accepted it.
I don't
If you
know.
were living in
I don't
luxury,
know.
but you knew you were gassing the Jews as a Nazi, that doesn't make it a good life.
Right.
Ryan's like, I wouldn't mind being a
You know
very
what?
wealthy Nazi. Sure.
It doesn't look like that he deprived himself of whatever, you know.
He had to do it to blend in, man.
Exactly.
But that doesn't mean he enjoyed it. He could have been having inner turmoil the whole
He's-
time.
Oh no, I'm not
He's
saying
like,
he
my wife
enjoyed
and
it.
kid could be dead. My wife is dead.
Hey, my wife is dead. I assume
seen it.
Jen is dead.
He did assume Jen was dead.
Yeah, so he's just like,
So the
man,
message
my life
that-
sucks, but I'm gonna do what I can. I'm gonna put up a smile, but inside I'm dying. I'm dying.
Yeah, his whole point of doing it was to create that flaw. Otherwise,
Yeah.
they would have done it without
Yeah,
the flaw,
yeah.
and then it would have been invincible.
And
Smart-
then even,
smart man.
I mean, just look at the fact that he tried to, he gave up himself so that his people, his engineers didn't die. and they shot him anyway. I'm sure that stuff has happened many a time.
He should have seen that coming.
They're just like, fuck.
That's why he told his family to run in the beginning, because he knew they'd be like, "Well, take your family too,
And
Yeah.
shoot them."
Yeah, we'll shoot them anyway and just take you. Yeah, so he's been living with, probably, I imagine, still shit. And Krennic's probably giving him shit all the time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So,
Still, even whenever
it's not a good life.
he meets with him on the planet, he's like, "You are a dick for letting your scientists be assholes."
And Krennic himself, that scene at the beginning just takes him more evil because he knows the guy's family.
Yeah.
Like he's like he basically means he saw his little girl grow up, or not grow up, but like he saw probably when she was born. He saw her like get to how old she was.
Yeah, before he left, because Krennic's in that flashback.
Yeah.
But you know what? That dream sequence made. I just remembered that it was weird that they literally replayed the scenes that just happened, except for one when he picks her up in the Imperial ship with Krennic. He's like, my Stardust and stuff. But everything before that literally just played like 10 minutes before. I was like, that's odd.
Yeah, it was a really weird Naruto moment.
Yeah, I was
the
like,
flashback like right after it happened.
I was like,
Yeah.
we just saw that though. I get it's supposed to be years, but like that was a little odd. Yeah,
I thought it was an okay movie. I'm sorry.
that's fine.
I hate that I'm like
I wanna-
delegated to this spot all of
I'm
a
not
sudden.
saying
It's
it was.
okay.
I'm not saying
You
it
can-
was the
you can-
best Star Wars movie. I feel like
I don't even think it was close.
Whoa,
I want to
okay.
say it was a good
Now they're
movie.
fighting words right now. I'm just kidding.
I want to say I'm saying it's a good movie, but I didn't see it like at the level of like Force Awakens or most of the original movies. It was above the prequels for sure.
Everything.
I think it's because the exciting thing about Star Wars that everyone has like conceived is Jedi
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah.
And this really had no sort of Jedis at all, except for obviously Anakin, which was Sith.
yeah.
But other than that, there were no Jedi presence.
I like how you called him Anakin.
There was also something I noticed that, and correct me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
And I know that it's supposed to be a Star Wars movie, but not a Star Wars movie.
Wrong.
And like the first thing that gave me the feeling that it wasn't a Star Wars movie
I hated that.
was that it didn't have the ba ba ba.
It's called
and
the
crawl.
the
opening
crawl. It didn't have the crawl, and I was waiting for it, and it came up like it had the thing, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, it was like in a galaxy a long time ago.
Yeah, like if they
That was
Ship.
weird.
if they didn't want to have the opening crawl, then they shouldn't have a galaxy far, far away.
They had to let you know it was a
I
Star
think
Wars
that's
movie.
the theme for all of them.
That goes together. I mean,
Well,
This is the first Star
this
Wars
is the-
movie without it, right?
yeah, but so now they're setting the scene that like even if it's a side story, it doesn't have to have the crawl, but it can still have a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
I think we just associate them because every single movie starts with that and then the crawl.
but it felt like an omission for the sake of an omission.
No, I think the nod is because of what movie is it? The episode 4,
4 is A New Hope.
New Hope.
A New Hope.
Yeah.
It's because it says it at the beginning of A New Hope, and it takes place in the same galaxy as A New Hope starts. So I think it's a nod to that because it's a
What?
galaxy far, far away.
Wait, what? What's a nod to that?
Well, that's
Rogue One.
the argument to include the part where it says a galaxy far,
Yeah,
far
that's
away.
what I'm saying. I think it's a nod to it's the same galaxy as A New Hope, and then they resolve that at the end when they meet up with Leia, and it's like, oh, it's that same galaxy far.
But
far
I
away.
think it's the omission that like it bothered some
Yes.
people. Like for me, like
It
that's why to me immediately it didn't feel like a Star Wars movie.
But-
Because even when I watched the prequels, even though I didn't like them, it felt like a Star Wars movie. Because as soon as it goes, bah, I'm
But-
instantly like, okay, I'm watching a Star Wars.
It's a
movie.
Star Wars story.
They didn't need the scrolling text
Yeah.
because it was like A New Hope explained most of it up to that point, and then that was just the gray
Yeah.
area that they didn't explain.
Mm-hmm.
So it was already you already knew all the stuff that was there.
I agree. I will say that it felt super weird not seeing the crawl. I was
It just
expecting. I was like,
explained A New Hope.
I was like, oh, no crawl. That's fine. Like
Yeah.
that was it. I was like, it doesn't need it. It's fine.
It doesn't need it, but
And
it
it's
also,
that's how you're gonna separate it from the main story.
I
would've-
expected it, but accepted that it wasn't there immediately.
Like
I
it's
would
not
have
like they're not.
also omitted the first line at that point.
I liked it because that's kept you in Star Wars universe, but not
Yeah.
Skywalker story. The
Yeah.
current story, it's an offshoot, just
like
like
a side quest.
like the Han Solo movie is not gonna probably have a crawl either, but
What
it
if it
might
just-
still say in a galaxy far, far
What
away.
if it started off with the ba da da da, and it's like Luke Skywalker has not been found yet.
Luke Skywalker is still a baby.
Luke Skywalker's still a baby.
He's learned to
I would
crawl.
have hated that.
He's learned to crawl.
If it was like a reverse crawl, like, hey, this shit has not happened. This hasn't happened. This hasn't happened.
Yeah. It just explained everything that A New Hope hasn't explained yet. And then you're like, that A New Hope explained everything.
You're like, yeah, I know.
One little callback that one little callback that I liked, that I know it's not that big of a thing, but I liked that they got Leia's guardian from like the end of the third prequel.
Yeah.
The Return
Bail
of the Sith.
Bail Organa.
Yeah.
They even played music when he showed up. But I feel like I wasn't in a small audience, and I was like, oh. And I looked kind of around, and I was like, no one even moved. I don't think anyone knows who that is.
No one knows who he is.
Yeah, Maggie refuses to watch the prequels, so I was like, and she was like, what? And I was like,
because they gave him an entrance. He had an entrance.
Leia's dad.
He pulled out of the shadows with music.
That's Leia's guardian. And as soon as I told her, she goes,
Oh,
God. It was like my gasp, and then I had to explain to her, and then she gasped.
I did the same. Because he comes out of the shadows, and there's music. He doesn't say anything. You're like, oh, cool.
It wasn't heavy-handed.
Yeah.
It was very like kind of.
And then he stays in there, so that's pretty awesome. And they do speaking of callbacks, still he references Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah,
and Princess Leia beforehand.
Yeah, and it's all like very kind
which
of
is why
like
I didn't think
mellow.
they would show Leia because of just that nod. I thought that would just be enough, but still cool.
Yeah,
movie felt like it just kind of ended for me.
It did.
Well,
It
it
blew up.
just ended because it continued
blew
as A New
up.
Hope.
Huh?
Because it ended because it continued as A New Hope.
That's
it
fine.
literally
No,
ended
no.
at the
That's-
beginning of A New Hope.
That's fine. I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
It's probably like hours of time limit.
I'm
like,
talking
in
about
between.
as a movie ending. It was abrupt.
I like that because it made me want to go back and watch A New Hope, because it made me feel like, okay, I finished this episode. Like it's like a cliffhanger in an episode series, or like a mid-season finale. Like it's like you're like, shit, I want to watch more. Okay, let me go watch.
But you know
4
what
now.
that left you with?
I can't.
It left you with hope.
I can't criticize that.
knew
too
it.
much.
Fuck you.
It did. That's the truth. As soon as she gets it, and she's like, hope, and it just ends there. You're like, yeah, you're right. There's hope because this is about to happen.
I like
this
the
is set
first
stage
2
for all
times
that.
they said the word hope in the movie, but then they kept saying it. And I was like, I get it.
You know what? I thought it would be way more because of how many times they used it in the trailers.
They said it 3 times in the movie.
But yeah, it wasn't that bad.
It was only 3
It wasn't
times?
that bad.
It's got to be
in-
more than 3 times.
Mm-mm.
It was
probably
more than
was
3
I
times.
It probably wasn't. But it seems like a lot.
The line
Rebellions are built on hope was
used
said twice. And then Leia said it the 3rd time.
Didn't Cassian tell her the first time though? Right?
Yeah, Cassian told her the first time, and then she
Jim
said it
says
as a quip the second time.
Nice
And
little
then
nod.
She says it at that meeting, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Leia, and that's
Leia
it.
says it.
That I can recall anyway, because I counted. Because I was like, that's peculiar that they keep saying that. But then I was like, no, they've only said it twice. And then Leia said it the 3rd time, and I was like, 3 times?
I think we noticed it more because it felt like they said it a lot in the trailer. So we knew all these lines were already coming. And like I felt like it probably was like that.
I watched the first trailer 1 time, and then never watched anything else.
I watched them a lot. All of them.
It just felt like when they did say it, like they could have said hope and at the same time just looked at the camera every time they said it. Like it was the way it was said, I
They're
guess,
like,
"Oh,
that made
hope,
it stick out.
and then they look
Yeah.
a new hope.
A new
Yeah,
hope.
if
A new
it
one.
was just like them saying like something about hope, like passing by, that'd be fine. But it was always a moment of them saying hope. Look at camera. There was no look at camera, but I felt there needed to be one because of the way it was said.
Yeah, it was a classic clip. It was.
Yeah.
I think
Those for us.
if those weren't in the trailer, it wouldn't have been that bad.
Huh?
If those weren't in the trailer, it wouldn't have been like as noticeable.
How did you guys feel about I have a bad feeling about the shh?
Oh, I totally didn't even catch that. But now
I don't really
was
have
that
any feelings
K2?
regarding it.
Huh?
That
Was that K2 who
yeah.
said that?
K2, yeah, like I have a bad feeling about this.
Yeah,
And then they cut him off.
I don't have feelings one way or the other.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, I
was
didn't
there.
catch it the first time, so I'm thinking about it now. And
It's there. It's a line in every film,
works.
so that's fine. I mean,
But like the fact that they had the shh,
I
I thought it was.
I don't really.
I liked it.
Yeah, I mean,
everyone's saying you suck, so move on.
what? Juan, that's not what I'm saying.
I heard him.
No,
You led that charge.
Huh?
Ryan led that charge.
Yeah, he did. No, he didn't. You did.
What?
He defended me.
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
Thank you, Ryan.
You know what? Did anybody have this thought, or maybe just me because I'm dumb? But as soon as it ended, I was
You are
like,
dumb.
Okay, okay, granted. As soon as it ended,
Very
I was
dumb.
like,
Okay.
God damn
How
it.
does it feel?
It feels great. I'm admitting it. So after it ended, I was like, ooh, I wonder what the end credit scene will be. I was like, oh, New Hope. Never mind. As people were sitting there, I was like, don't, just leave.
I googled
said-
it.
Huh?
I googled it.
I did too, though.
When the movie ended, I was like, I'm not sitting here. Bye.
I had that reaction, and then I was like, I should just Google it to be safe.
I Google everything that I
But
watch in the theater now.
Did you see that first link that said, "Are you retarded?" There's no end credit to that because the end credit is A New Hope. That was the first thing that popped up for me on Google.
Let me Google it real quick and see if I clicked on that.
I'm not gonna lie, I waited.
You waited?
I waited. And I think it's maybe like I'm so used to the Marvel movies now that I expect everything to have an after credit.
Yeah, I got asked the same thing too, and I was like, well, it's not a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. But you're trained, what's that, like trained to do it.
Pavlovian response to not leave your seat after the end of the movie.
I don't have that listed.
Oh.
Wait, maybe.
I'm gonna go one that was like, are you dumb?
Bring up the thing I wanted to bring up before.
Okay.
About trying to get into what Disney and Lucasfilm are thinking about with all these movies they want to make.
Mm-hmm.
There's rumors about Obi-Wan, trying to get a film or trying to make an Obi-Wan film or something like that. And they were asked a few questions about that. I don't know, some executives that work for Disney or Lucasfilm. And they were saying, well, we don't know about Obi-Wan, what's going on with that. We might not be done with him in the saga movies.
Is it going to be a sand epic?
It has, that has to take place in between.
This is what I did in the sand.
Yeah, well, they're kind of
Sculptures.
hinting at the fact that he might have more to do in episode 8 or 9 or something like that, which is obvious. I would imagine we see him in some form in
Force
the next
Ghost?
movie.
Force
Yeah,
Ghost?
something like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's really obvious that they're going to make a Vader film one day.
I want that. I want
to see
think
him
it's
killing the Jedi.
Because
Purge.
Oh, yeah.
yes, there's a lot of material in between the 20 years
Mm-hmm.
between prequels and original trilogy that they could
Adapt.
Yeah,
Like the comics and stuff like that.
But the way movies are made now in general, they're gonna shoehorn some kind of like. I know they're not gonna do like a love interest or anything like that, but it feels like they're gonna try to do something because like if you do a movie based on a villain and it's following a villain the whole time,
let me tell you, they did a comic book on Darth Vader recently, which was fan-fucking-tastic. And it took place right after the first Death Star blew up. So it was coming off of a big failure for him, and he was demoted by the Emperor. Took away his power. He had to answer to the new Tarkin, or whatever, the guy who replaced Tarkin or something. And he got a supporting cast. His supporting cast was... Yeah, are you done? His supporting cast was this new female character that was like a hacker person or something like that. Her name is Afra.
I saw the end to that. Yeah.
And then he's also got himself evil C-3PO and R2-D2, which is hilarious and awesome. They're like serial killers.
oh, that's fucking great.
Yeah, and they're both like black. Their color is black.
You're going to die.
Is that where he got the red arm?
I wonder.
It's stained with blood.
No, it's from evil C-3PO. C-3PO at one point fought evil C-3PO.
It's not them. It's a different droids that are evil.
Let me live my life.
But it worked really well. He had a little supporting cast members that were like, they had all the humor and stuff, and then he had all the badass to himself. And I think it could work in a movie setting. But the question I want to bring up is, do y'all think, do you think that I'm forgetting the word, where you create something that clashes with what you've already made?
Contradict?
Sort of. Like if they were to make a Vader film where Obi-Wan is in there, do you think that it retcons enough to where their final battle
doesn't mean as much or something?
Yeah, I would say that.
You think so?
Yeah.
Even if it took place in the first few years of isolation?
I would say yeah, because he assumes he's dead up until
why
he sees
couldn't he
him.
assume that after a second battle with him?
He'd have to kill him. Like, do something really noticeable.
No, it would make sense that Vader would want to come back for vengeance, but maybe Obi-Wan was still a little stronger than him, so because Obi-Wan's not going to want to kill him, he already almost killed him once and just left him there.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I feel that there's enough to contrive to make a film where Vader and Obi-Wan meet for some reason.
But that makes
in
the
middle
meeting
of
a
those-
little less significant when they do meet at episode 4.
Nah.
I'm not sure. That's my question, though. I don't know if I don't believe it does.
It's like the problem that they did in the prequels. Kind of how like certain, and was it like when you see Yoda and stuff, like kind of misses out on some things that happen later on. Like you're introduced to Yoda
And
and
you
all
miss
that
out on the
stuff
surprise.
before you miss out. Yeah, and you miss out on the surprise that he's who he is later on.
This
Not
is-
necessarily. That's only if you watch them in that
Chronological
order.
order, yeah.
But most
I
people
mean-
don't. They watch them for, like we showed Kramer.
Yeah, but if Kramer
Or
didn't
first.
have us, would you have watched them in
I would
order?
have watched them 1, 2, 3,
I
4,
mean,
5, 6.
just a possibility that like
And a lot of
you
people
can't
did.
tell every single person,
It gives you a
and it
different.
will.
I'd say it gives you a different point of view. So instead of the reveal that you get more so the reveal of this character that I've already been addressed before, but that's gone now for some reason, is back, and I understand his power because I've seen it. So I understand how he's supposed to train this guy, but he's weird.
I could say though, in like
There's also a really good progression with Yoda's character because he is a warrior in the
Yeah.
prequels, and he sees and he realizes where he went wrong with that. Because his line explains it all in Empire Strikes Back. Wars not make one great.
mhm.
When Luke says, "I'm looking for a great warrior."
It
Yeah.
gives it a different exposition, a different reveal, I guess. Not necessarily the reveal of, like, this is the mythical being they've been talking about for the last 20 minutes, but more so the idea of, oh man, this is a guy that I know is already a badass. I'm so happy that they brought the new Jedi to him to be trained. So
I don't know.
Give you a different
That's
outlook on it if you
interesting.
watch it in that order.
I just absolutely love the idea that we could either get a film with Vader where he's slaughtering Jedi, and then they create some sort of conflict for him and the Emperor or something like that, or him some other supporting cast member.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it would be awesome to see him and Obi-Wan clash early in his isolation years.
I also,
Perhaps.
though, in a way, believe that the scarcity of Vader's power, as shown in the films, gives him more power.
Yeah, because you make up the rest. You assume.
Yeah. If you see a whole movie of him slaughtering people, you're like, okay, yeah, he's a badass, but now I've seen it all.
Well, I mean, let's be real here. If there's a movie about
makes sense.
Vader, 10% of it will be action or something like that, So
There's got to be, yeah.
But
Because
then
people
that would-
expect to see him doing something.
it won't be like a full-blown
that'll lead
action
to
movie.
full
disappointment of
show of
not
his strength.
seeing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The minor dialogue, though, like the
Treat him
minimal
like-
dialogue, I guess, is also a contributing factor to his character. He doesn't really just have conversations with everyone. He speaks to people because he needs to speak to them and convey a message. If he doesn't need to talk to that person, they don't matter.
Well, I mean, I would urge y'all to read the book that I read, just to see what where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
I read some of it.
Yeah.
I
I can
actually
let one of y'all borrow it. I have it.
I did the wrong things. I read some of the beginning and then a little bit of the end.
That's the worst way to read a book.
I got impatient. And I was like, I need to find out. The ending had came out. I was like, I'm gonna read. I'm just gonna see it. I'll go back to it. I just need to know right now. Yeah, but it'd be really interesting. Would you put? Well, I was gonna say the opposite. Then would you put in an Obi-Wan movie?
Would you put Vader in?
Would
it?
you put Vader in
I
it
would do that
briefly?
too. Yeah, that would
Yeah.
that could. I mean, I want to see a conflict between Ewan McGregor and Vader again.
I would
That'd be
like to see a
it-
hunting kind of conflict where it's not necessarily they fight, but it is like Vader trying to track down Obi-Wan.
Yeah, that could work.
That'd
too.
be interesting.
In the book, he even mentions him still. After no, I'm thinking of something else. Never mind, because that takes place after he killed him.
I was gonna say, oh no, I lost it. Oh man,
No, you're not anymore.
nope. Yep, it's gone.
The hunting down of Obi-Wan, I would imagine Vader goes out, hunts all the other Jedi, and then when they're he's like, I haven't killed Obi-Wan yet, and they're like, he's probably dead anyway. He's like, no, I know he's alive,
Yeah.
and I need to be the one that kills him, because they do have that that he has that mentality still, this is the guy I should have killed, and he beat me bad last time.
That's his
I
last
need to-
string that he needs to cut.
Oh, then does that fix the plot hole of? I always kind of figured. Well, that Obi-Wan knows Vader's Anakin,
Yes.
but how would he know that from back then when he just left him to die?
Yoda actually.
The Yoda?
I think Yoda tells him his new name is Vader or Darth.
Oh,
He's
okay.
made him Darth Vader. Or
Yeah, I
something like
remember that.
that.
He
Something
does?
like that.
Feels like he
that.
now goes by the name Veda.
Yeah, it's something. Vader.
Oh, okay. Because I just started immediately thinking, like, wait, how did he know? And if like he figures it out, it could be like a
Plus, I mean, process of elimination. You have the Emperor, and then you have Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Who else?
But it's I figured it could just like if he didn't, it could explain that, and that could be like one of the Rebel moments where I'm even keeping up a little bit with Rebels, Star Wars
Not
Rebels.
current season.
Just a little bit that I know from watching it is that they had a Vader and Ahsoka,
Yes, I watched that season.
and she realized who Vader was.
Yes.
That was really cool. Like they could have that same moment for Obi-Wan, and I feel like it would be just as emotional and like revealing for the character.
I see.
Very cool. Yeah.
Final thoughts. I liked it.
Loved it. I need to watch it again, but it was awesome.
Yeah, I'd watch it again. I enjoyed it a lot.
Or I'm just gonna watch.
I would skip the first 45 minutes,
That's cool.
I might
That's cool,
skip-
man.
You know, I do that actually.
and I
With,
don't like doing that, mind you.
I do that actually when I watch Captain America: Civil War.
What?
I skip to the.
No. I'm not gasping at that. I'm gasping because like I don't own the movie, but I just YouTube the fight and I watch the fight a
Yeah,
lot.
I skip to the Spider-Man part. After that is what I really want to watch.
I love
all
watching the
before that.
fight.
I don't care.
Airport scene's my least favorite scene.
Oh,
I just really like Spider-Man. That's the only reason I watched that movie. To be perfectly honest.
the Spider-Man and the Giant Man parts, like, great.
Oh yeah, Paul Rudd's great.
That's why I love that. Makes that whole thing rewatchable for me so
Yeah.
much. Yeah,
That was the greatest part for me because also Black Panther is super awesome in that fight too.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So everything, the exposition all the way up to that, where they blow up Wakanda and the actual story part of that, I didn't care about.
I can't skip stuff.
So
I
yeah.
can't either, but I mean, I was like waiting for the movie to end. I mean, that's just the feeling I had, unfortunately. And I don't know why.
Oh, I'm sorry, but it was great to see Krennic being killed by his own weapon.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
I feel like Tarkin was just like, fuck that guy, because he knew he was there. He was like, fuck,
Yeah,
fire
he
it.
totally was. He was
Yeah.
like, this guy just won't like get off my ass. Kill
Yeah.
him.
He's like, you know what? Krennic's not handling down there. Kill him. Blow up the planet. Yep. Good stuff.
All right.
That last shot of Vader is wallpaper-esque,
Yeah.
Wallpaper.
where he's standing on like the
on the ship.
end of the ship,
Yeah.
Looking
where,
out.
like the ship is kind of broken off.
Yeah.
and he's got this iconic ass pose.
Damn,
looked
that was
good. It looked like the director was making this movie just to set that shot up. Like that was like
That was his whole goal
that was
for the
his
whole movie.
thing. You know.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Word.
Right. Let us know what you guys thought of the movie, or let us know on Facebook, Twitter,
Instagram,
YouTube,
SoundCloud.
anywhere. Come find me.
You can knock on my door. I'll answer it. It'd be
Tell
nice
me
to
what you
get
thought
pizza.
about it. If your opinion is any less than Ryan's, I'll kill you.
What does that mean you'll do to me?
No, any less than yours, because yours is like
So
I
if
could
you
live.
kill somebody, if it's less, are you gonna hurt me?
You're fine.
He's gonna, like-
you. Yeah, you won't die from it. I don't have to kill you.
These answers
But I don't have
and
to
more when we find out if Ryan makes it to the next episode of Commentator. I'm Kramer.
I'm Juan.
I'm Tom.
I'm
Sometimes.
Ryan. I need to like a movie again.
Yeah.
Like not like I need to love a movie again.
Next Star Wars, man. It'll come.